Now my friends, I am going to explain to you this question, how to find the smallest of the given three numbers. I am going to draw the flow chart. As you know very well, we start with the start. Okay, I write the text here. First, start. I write the text here, start. Then I write the input. Three numbers. Okay, so how many inputs are going to be there? There are going to be three inputs. Can you see here? I will write down here. Okay, here I am going to write the inputs. Input number 1, number 2, number 3. I got the three inputs. After I got the three inputs, I am going to check the condition. See, first there is a chance number 1 can be smaller, number 2 can be smaller, and number 3 can be smaller. Okay, see, this is step 1. From there I am coming to step 2. Okay, step 1 and step 2 are clear. Now I have to compare and find out which is the smallest number. Either number 1 is smaller, number 2 is smaller, or number 3 is smaller. I have to check. To check if number 1 and number 2 and number 3 are smaller, number 1, number 2 and number 3 are smaller, then very simple is that we have to check first number 1. First I will compare number 1 with number 2. Then I will compare number 1 with number 3. First I have to compare number 1 with number 2, and I have to compare number 2 with number 3. If in both the cases number 1 is small, then what will be the output? The output is number 1 is the smallest. Number 1 is the smallest. First I am going to compare number 1 with number 2 and number 1 with number 3. If this is okay, then my answer will be what? Number 1. If number 1 is not smallest, then I will check number 2 with these two numbers. I will check these two numbers. Number 2 I will compare with number 1. Number 2 I will compare with number 3. Next step, I will compare number 2 with these two numbers. Okay, first I will compare number 1 with the other two numbers. Then I will compare number 2 with the other two numbers. If these two conditions are not true, then naturally the third number will be the smallest number. This is the idea. Keep this idea first in your mind. Now I will remove this one because it will confuse you. Now I will remove these things. Now let me explain the condition. I will write down the condition. I will put the condition here. It will have two conditions. I will show you now how. See, the first condition is here. Can you see here? This is the first condition. I am going to write the text here. My condition is very simple. I am going to write here, if n1 less than n2 and n1 less than n3. See, it is very small. Let me make it a little bit bigger because only one condition is seen. The other one is not seen. Okay, so I will make it bigger. If n1 less than n2 and n1 less than n3. See, it should come inside the box. Okay, because since I have a problem with the size of the box, it's okay. You just try to see it. It should come inside the box. Remember, this text should be written inside the box. Okay, if n1 is less than n2 and I am comparing n1 with this two, with this one and with this number. Okay, now there are two possibilities. One is what? Yes. The other one is what? No. If it is yes, I will have a output. What is an output I will have now? The output that I will have is very simple. What is the output I will have? The output that I will have is here I give here n1 is smaller, n1 is small, n1 is small, okay, n1 is small, n1 is small, okay. See, n1 is small. If n1 is less than n2 and n1 is less than n3, n1 is small. This is the output, because you see this condition checks with number 2, this condition checks with number 3, both are true. And means both, this and this both should be correct. If both are correct, then the output is what? Number 1 is small. Now if this is not true, see, there are two possibilities. I already told you there are two possibilities. One is what? Yes. The other one is what? No. The other one is what? No. If it is no, what I should do now? I cannot give the output. Why? Because I have to check another condition. What is the next condition I have to check? Because I have to check now what? Number 2. I have to check number 2 with what? Number 3. So I am writing the text here. If this is no, I will not be able to give the output. I will go for next condition. If number 2 less than number 3 and number 2, again I think the problem is the size. Okay, don't worry, because I have a limited space in the board, so I am not able to use a bigger one. Anyway, I will make it now bigger. See, okay, if n2 is less than n3, n1 and n2, number 2 is less than number 3. If both these conditions are true, here number 2 is less than number 1 and number 2 is less than number 2. There are two possibilities which I can show you. Number 1 I have yes, number 2 I have no. Okay, now I have two conditions. Number 1 yes, and I have another one which is no, which is no, which is no. This can be true or this can be false. See, I checked the first condition. If the first condition is true, the output will come. If the first condition is not true, it will go and check for the next condition. If it is yes, now you will give a output. You will give a output here. You will give a output. What is the output you will give now? Number 2 is small. Okay, number 2 is small. If number 2 is small, you can give here number 2. Number 2 is small. Okay, I just write number 2 small. Is not is small. Number 2 small. Okay, because space problem again. If it is no, what I do? I go here. Naturally, if number 1 and number 2 are not small, what will be the output? The output will automatically become what? Number 3. So you can write down here number 3 small. Okay, number 3 small. Now you have to finish here. Right here, stop. So I will put the text here, stop. Then I write here. Now I am going to put the arrows. Can you see now? This is the arrow. From here, this is the next step. I am just putting the arrow. Now this is another arrow. I am putting another arrow. I am putting the another arrow here to show. First it will check this one not okay, then it will go here also no. If yes, this direction. If no, this direction. Then it will check this direction. Yes, n2 is small, n2 is small, and you can see this one here. Okay, now you can see here. Okay, now the last thing is that from here you have to go for where? You have to write for stop here. Similarly from here you have to take it and you have to finish it here. Stop. Can you see it here? I hope it's clear for you now. So this is the way how you have to draw the flow chart for question number 7. See, there are 3 inputs. First we check this number N1. I check, first step is what? To check number 1 with number 2 and number 3. If these two are checked and number 1 is smaller than these two, you will give number 1 is small. If this is not the case, you will check number 2 with number 1 and number 3. This is what you are doing here. Number 2 you are checking with number 1 and number 3. If it is yes, you say that number 2 is small. If both the conditions are not true, you will just say number 3 is small. I hope it's clear for you until now. If you have any questions, you can ask me by the end of this class. Thank you.